A family is hitting a League City police officer with a federal civil rights lawsuit tonight over the shooting death of their son. That officer acquitted by a grand jury, but as our David Gonzalez tells us, that family does not think justice was done. Hi, David.
Hey, that's right. A Galveston grand jury declined to press charges against Officer Stephen Massey after reviewing this case, but that is not stopping his family from going after that officer. The family of Alvaro Herrera arrived at the federal courthouse dressed all in white. They carried signs in English and Spanish demanding justice for the 18-year-old high school student. Herrera died on January 23rd after being shot by League City police officer Stephen Massey.
Someone has to be held accountable. Too many times in this country, black and brown people their lives have been lost to police violence, and we're here to take a stand.
Herrera's parents filed a federal lawsuit against Massey, claiming excessive force. The Galveston Medical Examiner's Office determined Herrera's death was caused by multiple gunshot wounds and a stab wound to the back. They've ruled his death a homicide.
There's been no evidence that Alvaro did anything wrong prior to him being killed by the League City Police.
The Houston Chronicle reports Massey shot Herrera after the teen attacked the officer and tried to take away his weapon. The Cron states Herrera was a suspect in an attempted carjacking. Herrera's mother denies the claims and wants justice for her son.
He was a good son. He was not a disobedient son. He was an excellent son. That's why I, my friends, and my family are here to talk, because he did not have to harm him in that way.
Herrera's family is looking for the district attorney in Galveston to revisit this case once more facts are available, with the hopes that charges may be filed in the future. We did reach out to the League City Police Department, but have not heard back from them at the moment, Jason.
I know we'll keep an eye on this story. Thanks, David.